Good afternoon and welcome to the much anticipated last pod of our Karma Cup Speakers Series, Day 1. Hopefully you guys have had a chance to go down to the Karma Cup event stage or event and festival down at 217 Adelaide Street West, where there will be 2 days of vending, live glass blowing, art demos, and lots of vendors. But today, if you've got the munchies, we have got the place for you today. So post 420, I get to introduce one of my favorite cannabis chefs in the space these days. As some of you know, I am a baker, so I have got all the sweet stuff kind of going on. But what is amazing is Miss Rena from the High Society Supper Club has made a wonderful business out of doing micro-dosed dinner parties and catering, and you will find her awesome food at most of the markets in Southern Ontario. This girl works hard. And if you've been to other cannabis expos, you may have actually seen other chefs that cook with cannabis, but without the cannabis. Today we're cooking. So Rena's going to make some things for us today, and we are very, very proud to have her at the Karma Cup Speaker Series. So get ready, take notes, because you're about to learn how to cook. Thank you.
Yay! Thank you, Tracy. And if you haven't tried Tracy's cookies yet, you cannot match her ginger snaps. They're incredible. They're so good. Oh my God. So thank you guys. Thanks for sticking around and listening to my garble. Hopefully there's something you can take away from this, because the whole point of doing these kinds of things is to spread the knowledge. I'm going to do something here today that I hope is relatively easy to replicate, and that you will hopefully be able to do yourself at home if you're not doing it already. So hello, thank you so much for coming. My name is Rena. I basically, we run a couple of small businesses. Actually, I have a small Caribbean restaurant in Hamilton, which is how I started. We were actually in Windsor first, got to Hamilton. We started doing this catering maybe about 6-7-ish years ago officially. We were doing it with our partner here over at Hamilton Vape, doing the dab and dines, and one thing led to another. Then we started High Society Supper Club maybe about 3-ish years ago, and that really took off. So that's actually what keeps us really busy right now. And what we do is microdosing, and I know some people are like, microdosing, why are they microdosing? The reason why we do that, so see, the market is growing. People who have never tried cannabis before are coming out in record numbers to partake in all sorts of ways. Now, you can always up your dosage, but you can't decrease it. It's hard to bring it down. So I prefer to keep my dosing at a certain level. If I have connoisseurs who attend our dinners, they also have the option of dosing up if they know their tolerance is much higher. But I always recommend that people stay, somewhere around 100 for the entire dinner. Each course I try to stay around 10 milligrams so that you can have a really gradual increase. And it gives you time in between to have a dab, have a smoke. If you want to try a neighbor's edible, because chances are likely somebody else is going to show up who's also, doing something really awesome in the space and they want people to try. It doesn't put you overboard too quick, too soon. But again, if you're someone who's a connoisseur and you know your limitations, you know your tolerance, you can always kick it up. But we try and keep it safe so everyone goes home feeling awesome, amazing, awesome, fantastic sleep. So that's that. How I cannabis. I've been around cannabis my entire life. My father was a consumer advocate. I seen him get arrested. I seen my grandmother make salves and medicines. They would reach for that just like they reached for Vicks Vapor Rub, making it over the stove on low heat for a long time. And I always remember that one cigarette smelled way better than the other, and people were really happy when they smoked one cigarette versus, when they were drinking the stuff from that bottle. And I noticed things from a very young age. So I've always been around cannabis. And it's always been, a bit of a put me in a bit of a juxtaposition kind of where like, it's like the celebration, but it was so deep, dirty and seedy. And, even now with legalization, we have so much to celebrate, but let's be real, for those of us who have been in the space for a long time, we know that, the benefits are really going to be experienced by a lot of the folks who are maybe newer. Those of us who have been around, it actually feels a little bit more restrictive. We can't smoke outside anymore. There are going to be real laws that prohibit us from just smoking and lighting up a joint outside, which is insane. That our youth are still completely criminalized for, the simple choice, which is the smarter choice, and so many others. They're just, I'm sure you've all read some of the proposed regulations. But anyways, I'm just going to put a tiny pitch there. If anybody knows, I'm also involved in Cannabis Amnesty. I'm the volunteer coordinator, and our intention is to ask the provincial government to nix, and pardon all those cannabis offenses, because it's not cool. It's not a good thing. It's not positive. It shouldn't be allowed that, so many of us are being held back and, the money's being made and they're looking at us going, oh, ha, ha, ha. They need our expertise. The only way to really change things is to become part of it, right? And they're preventing us from being a part of it by doing this. So we need to change the laws so that we can get in and be a part and make real change. Anyways, enough for that. Check out cannabisamnesty.ca and we're going to move forward. So I hope you stick around. I'm going to try and make this as entertaining and quick as possible for you today. So to stay a little bit safe, and I'm sorry to keep saying I decided to stay vegan today, but I promise it will be tasty enough that you're not going to miss the meat. That's the whole point, is that if you're doing it properly, you're not going to feel like you're missing out, right? And here's an interesting fact before I even begin. This is something I learned within the last couple of years, which I wish I knew when I was a vegan 20 years ago. So apparently, the best source of protein is vegetables. Like, I was so shocked to read that, and this is the explanation behind it. It's, the only real true source, for the chlorophyll, all the nutrients. Animals, which we revere as, the biggest and best source of protein, is actually a second-hand source of protein. An animal muscle doesn't actually have enough protein in it if it weren't for them eating as much grass and as much vegetables as they do. That's actually residual